All right, hello. Happy Monday. It is Monday for those of you who have stopped keeping track of days. I just got home from a site visit for an Earth Advantage house, which is a green building program. It looks at energy, water, health, materials, and land. And perhaps I will talk in another episode or another one of these about that certification. So I was out there and getting some more materials for our zero energy house build. So today I was just gonna do a little chat about some site design things you might want to think about for when you're building, or not might want to, you want to think about when you are planning a zero energy or zero energy ready home. So first of all, before we get into that, I just want to distinguish the difference between zero energy ready and zero energy. So really all that is zero energy homes have solar installed or other renewables such as wind and hydro, or a combination of all of those or a couple of those. And then zero energy ready are ones that do not have the solar installed. So exact same house, but without any renewable energy systems. So for site, ideally you have a nice open area where you don't have shading from other structures or from really tall trees, and so that doesn't shade your roof area for the solar. You do want to have some on-site shading for the summertime, so having some deciduous trees on the south and west sides of the home are good, making sure they're not going to grow too tall. So maybe that means they're not too close to the house, or they're of a species that won't grow higher than your roof line. The other thing is, as far as a house design, you want to orient your house on an east-west axis. So especially if you have, it kind of depends on the roof. So if you have a simple gable roof, so like a triangle shape, like what we're going to do on ours, have the ridge of that running from east to west. So that way you can have one face of your roof open and available for solar panels on top. So especially if you're building in town or somewhere where your lot size requires you to have your renewable energy on top of your roof, versus if you have more space, like we have 10 acres, we are putting ours on the ground because that way we won't have to worry about winter maintenance for snow, trying to climb up high in the winter and clean off snow off the panels. So that's going to be a lot safer to have them on the ground and easier to maintain them. It could have been good to put them on the roof because we're on I'm going to flip the camera really quick, and that way you can see. Okay, so we are on the northwest face of a hillside. So in the morning, this is all shaded. Depending on the time of the year, in the winter, this is all shaded till at least usually I think it was around like 11 in the morning, so we get no sun down here. So, and then of course the sun sets earlier in the winter time. So in the winter we only have maybe about 4 hours of sun on close to this slope. So our initial idea was to have our solar panels over here in this space where the cars are parked. And right now the sun's getting higher in the sky, but in the winter time our house now actually provides shade over there. So that's not going to be good, because the winter times when we have the least amount of daylight to collect our solar energy. So now we are thinking about shifting them somewhere else, like possibly up here on the hill. So it's getting closer to where the hill is as far as having earlier sun access, but we'll just probably orient them a little bit more to the southwest so that they can capture more of that intense afternoon sun and have that visible. I'm getting acorns dropped on me. Okay, so if you have space on your property to have a ground-mounted solar system or have wind energy, or maybe you have hydro, then the actual design of the house doesn't matter quite as much. You do want to think about shading, because in the summertime, especially if your house is out in the open like ours is, we have lots of trees around us, but because we're going up 3 floors, we are going to be a lot in the sun. So that's why we're doing a really high performance shell with the ICF blocks, so that can help reduce our energy load on the house. So in the summertime, when the sun is baking on the house, it's going to take the thermal mass of the concrete is going to restrict the conduction of heat flow through the wall. So it'll take a lot longer to go through than if we had just framed this with 2x6s and added insulation in the walls. So that'll make the house more comfortable and also require us to run our air conditioning less. So we were probably going to end up putting some shading above the windows. This face is the northeast face, so probably less necessary here than over on the southeast side and the southwest side. But we're going to want to make sure we install some awnings there, just because while we have trees, they're not really tall enough to do a lot of shading. And so we'll have some awnings above our windows to help shade that space. So since we were doing our solar on the ground, we were able to take advantage of some of the views we have out towards the valley. So we're facing, the main face of the building is facing northwest. Yeah, I always gotta think about it. Northwest and then southwest. So this is the southwest side. And then the northwest side is where we have the majority of our openings, just because we have this beautiful view of the valley from that side, which you can see a lot better from higher up. And then from the southwest, we can see Mount Hood. The trees are all budding out, so that's been cool lately. So again, this is why we went up so high, because you can see the mountain right now, but it looks a lot more prominent once you're up above the trees. Whew. So there's our house. So again, we've got some trees here, but they won't be providing a ton of shade, so we're going to be doing some awnings. We might even decide to plant some more trees. So if you're doing a single-story house, or even just a 2-story, and you have trees, just think about having them in a place that'll help shade your southern face, and then having that south face of the roof free for solar. So that's kind of also why more simple roofs are better, because that way you're not having this like really architecturally broken up roof. So you have actual like one nice plane of space for a solar system. So I mean, for solar ready, the guideline is to have at least 200 square feet, at least in Oregon. So that's a pretty good size of roof space. And in that roof space, you don't want to have any penetrations. So from plumbing, or if you have a vent from a furnace or a water heater or skylights, any of that kind of thing, you want to keep your south face of your roof just free and clear to have solar panels on there so that they can power your house. So whether or not you install them, solar ready, really what that means is running conduit from close to your electrical panel and having a junction box there. It's just running 1 inch is good. Different municipalities require different sizes. And so I've heard from solar contractors that it's good to have at least 1 inch thick, or 1 inch, I don't remember how it's called, diameter of conduit, to make sure that if in case you have more than one string of solar panels, then you have enough room for all the wire to go in there. And so you have the conduit running from a junction box where your electrical panel is. Maybe that's in the garage or basement. And then you have that conduit running all the way up to your roof. So if you have an attic space on top that has like a flat, you have like insulation on the flat part of your attic, make sure that that other second junction box and the conduit extends above the insulation so that when they want to install solar later, that they can find it. You can also mount that junction box on top of the roof. That's going to require some material that is waterproof so that water can't get in there, obviously. And so I see that less likely, but especially if you have a vaulted roof, then you might need to poke it directly through the vaulted ceiling. So, because since there's not an actual space in there, so you run the conduit all the way up to the top to make it ready for solar. And I think that's about it. Having enough clear roof space, having conduit ready, just conduit, having it that ready, like in the wall, makes it a lot easier, especially in a finished home, to go in and install solar and make sure you don't have conduit running all over the roof. I've seen that happen on solar installations, and it doesn't really make it look very pretty. So not everyone likes the look of solar on houses, but there's also community solar programs too, where you can install solar. You can pay into solar install in a common area in your community, like a larger system, and so you can basically kind of like buy into credits to offset your energy use. And so that's becoming more and more popular, especially in especially in urban areas where you don't have a lot of control over if you have an existing home and maybe you have some really mature old growth trees in your yard and you don't want to cut them down. So there is that play of, figuring out like, okay, do I want to put renewable energy on my house or keep that tree, because the trees provide oxygen and also shade. So the shading helps reduce your energy use. So there's kind of a balance of factors in, especially for existing homes, and getting solar on them. So I think that's it. Oh, there's one more thing. I was just talking to the builder this morning about homes and the building industry moving towards being all electric as well, to help offset the carbon that is being used in building construction and in the operating of buildings. So putting in electric heat pump water heaters and electric space heating via mini splits, whether they're ducted or non-ducted. So having all electric, using LED lights, all that kind of thing. So making sure that we're able to have clean energy if we're able to install it on site, or getting our power plants to run on cleaner energy. Okay, I think that's it for now. I'll be back next Monday talking about another net zero energy topic. And then I will be here Wednesday talking about healthy homes and home performance this week. And we have another DIY coming up on Saturday, which is going to be a magnetic, or not magnetic, just a chalkboard hanger. And you can go to my Facebook page and look for that event there if you're interested in joining us. So, all right. Thank you. Take care. Bye.